AEW in just 2 weeks presents Double or Nothing. It's the pay-per-view that has been a flagship show for AEW over the course of their first 5 years. And one of the major matches at this show will determine who will challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at their biggest show of the year, all in Texas, Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Field in July. One of those people trying to get to Jon Moxley in the World Championship is Will Ospreay. You would think that it's such a major match, it's such a big match, such a big moment for that man's career, that he would be talking about that, the match with Hangman at Double or Nothing, the potential to be wrestling at Globe Life Field for the AEW World Championship. No, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about any of those things. We're going to talk about how we don't watch the WWE product, how we don't like the WWE product. Yes, that doesn't even make sense. How do you not like something when you don't watch something? And that you're the best wrestler, even comparing yourself to everybody over there and basically burying everybody over there, saying that they can't do what you do and that AEW's got the best in-ring product. You would think that talking about the AEW World title, all in, Double or Nothing, Adam Page would be so much more important, but not if you are Will Ospreay. Now, what am I getting at? AEW star Will Ospreay recently gave a candid interview with the Daily Star, where he shared his unfiltered thoughts on the WWE product and how it compares to AEW. His remarks obviously have melted everybody's brain on social media. They have sparked significant discussion within the wrestling community. Now, I'll start with this. WWE's presentation. He says, and I quote, "I still, as not only a viewer, but also a wrestler, just don't enjoy it." Gee, Will, I love Will Ospreay. Let me say this. There is nothing like a Will Ospreay match. There's nothing like a Will Ospreay match in the environment that he demands because of his in-ring ability. Will Ospreay, in my honest opinion, and if you got a problem with this, go fucking play in traffic, bro. I don't give a single solitary fuck. Will Ospreay is the best pro wrestler on the face of the planet right now. The only other people that I would put in his discussion right now from what we've seen and the body of work that we have seen is Gunther, and that is it. There's literally nobody in the United States that's even on, Takeshita as well. Nobody on these guys' levels. Nobody on these guys' levels. I still, as not only a viewer, but also a wrestler, just don't enjoy it. I haven't watched WrestleMania, but from what I've heard, it wasn't the best Mania. Maybe Io, Rhea, and Bianca had the only really sick match. Sure, that was a fantastic match. One of the best opens in WrestleMania history. Probably one of the best women's matches in WWE history. Man, we're forgetting a couple others on that show, man, that were really good. What about the main event on night one? You know, Roman and Punk and Rollins. What about that? Just conveniently left that out. But he didn't watch it, so how the fuck would he know? But yes, it was a very blah WrestleMania. He's not wrong in that. He did hear correctly. I just want to say that. Those three are incredible. Three of the best, period. But for me, I was never a WWE guy. You know, I wonder how different of a song Will Ospreay would be singing if Triple H never, which, by the way, he never mentioned Will Ospreay's name. We all assume he was talking about Will Ospreay. I wonder what song Will Ospreay would be singing today if Triple H didn't make the comments of some people are just afraid of the WWE grind. Maybe he'd be singing a different tune. Maybe he'd be saying he's a WWE guy. First of all, he's not going to even be saying anything regarding him being a WWE guy because he's an AEW guy. He's on Tony Khan's payroll. He knows not to bite the hand that feeds him, though he's probably bulletproof. Nobody's going to bite the hand of Tony Khan, which is basically giving them a free ride into wherever they want to go. I respect it. And I respect the guys doing it. The schedule is insane, and I commend them for it. I just don't like the show. It's great. I don't like AEW show. Not anyway. Not recently anyway. I used to love it. People used to look at me with fucking different looks, sideways, up, down, left, right, man. How do you like AEW? Man, it's so garbage, man. It's just an indie-rific promotion. And now they used to tell stories. I'm like, I don't know how you guys didn't see what they were doing. I mean, they just gave a shit. They had people there that gave a shit. Now they don't. Now it's nothing but clicks and certain egos and poor leadership and people thinking they're knowing what they're doing and they don't. No stories. Same match every fucking week. Nobody cares. The schedule is insane. I commend them for it. I just don't like the show. I don't like the style of wrestling or the presentation. It has gotten better. I love the one-shots they've been doing, but I've never been a big fan of it. It's fine. You don't have to like the WWE product. There are people out there that don't like the WWE product for one reason or another. It's not the perfect pro wrestling show. Far from it. They've done things that are cringe. They've done a lot more in the last 4 months as far as mistakes than they have in the first, I would say, 12 to 18 months of Triple H taking over WWE Creative. It's not a perfect show, but neither is AEW. So I understand that if you like WWE, you might not like AEW, and vice versa. He didn't stop there. On AEW's approach, when AEW came along and they went with the more sports-based style, it was something I could sink my teeth into. Now, what really kind of lends to that comment being legit? A sports-based style. What does that mean? Because WWE is a sports-based style as well. They're doing little things here and there to give you a real sports feel. We got the different camera shots and the different camera work that we see throughout the show. Things that we did not see while Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon were in charge. Different styles, different presentations for the WWE product to really kind of push it more towards a UFC sports-based style that we know Endeavor to go out there and do. The aerial shots, the behind-the-scenes shots through Gorilla with the camera shots, following the talent out to the stage, even the camera shots with the talent walking in to the building. It's more of a sports presentation than AEW is. I mean, I remember, what was it? It was during the Royal Rumble. They had the little sports ticker like I was watching Sports Center with the eliminations and the stats and the statistics of the Royal Rumble and everybody in the men's and women's Royal Rumble. WWE has done more to give it a more sports-based style than AEW has done to give its product a sports-based style. So I don't really know what he's talking about. I think that's just obviously because he works for AEW. He can't say anything positive about the competition. On WWE's in-ring talent, of course I respect WWE and admire everyone there, but for me, there's always been this little bit of rivalry where I'm like, yeah, you guys are the biggest. You draw the biggest crowds. You've got the biggest deals. But the moment the bell rings, I think we're better than all of them. Honestly, on my worst day, I'm better than a lot of guys in ring. Promo-wise, they've got a lot of guys. CM Punk is sick. Roman Reigns is sick. There are still things I need to catch up on. But in ring, I don't think anyone on that side matches up to our guys. I'm going to use this because I myself at one point in my life, I'm in my 40s now, was an avid musician. I played for a band with my brother that me and my brother started for 10 years. And we were heavily influenced by Slayer and Metallica and old school thrash, right? That early 80s, mid 80s Bay Area thrash, Testament, Exodus, that type of deal. You know, Metallica is the biggest heavy metal band in the entire world. They go anywhere, they sell out. They are making more money in the history of heavy metal than any band ever. Does that mean that they are the best? No. No, they're not. I could take a fucking independent, unsigned band who's making the same style of music with modern day production, more energy, youthful, this and that, and they are better than Metallica, writing better music than Metallica right now. And it works the opposite way as well. You could sit there and be the greatest fucking independent act of all time, and you're churning out album after album after album, and some of these songs, man, they are absolute fucking bangers. Where did this band come from? Who is this? Where have these guys been all my life? Where's this band been all my life? Does that band ever make it big? The probability of that band ever making it to the level of Metallica, or the level of a Slayer, or an Exodus, or a Testament, or anybody, the likelihood that that band ever gets signed, the likelihood that that band ever gains worldwide notoriety, small sliver of a chance that ever happens. But they're churning out great music. They're a great band. They got banger album after banger album after banger album, but nobody hears it. Nobody ever hears it. And the likelihood that you know who they are, small. So what exactly is he saying here? What exactly? Yeah, they're the biggest. They draw the best crowds. But, you know, when the bell rings, I think we're better than all of them. It's great. It's great. Who's seeing it? Who's listening to it? Who's watching it? The ratings for AEW Dynamite year over year since Punk left have gone downhill in such a significant way that AEW is just absolutely delusional to think that they are the same brand as they were when he was there. And it's all about Punk. Oh, we don't need Punk. Oh, we don't need Cody. Yeah, you do. The two pieces that made you who you are, gone. Who do you think people are tuning into Dynamite to watch? The Young Bucks? You think they're tuning in to see good old Willie Boy here? They're not tuning in to nothing. Most of the people that work there are robbing Tony Khan blind, wishing they were in WWE, wishing that they were with the biggest promotion, drawing the biggest crowds, making the most money. I don't really understand his logic here. They go out there and say, this is where the best wrestle. They go out there and say, like he did, oh, I can out-wrestle anybody over there. Who's watching it? The Dynamite ratings have decreased year over year by nearly 35 to 40%. Their median now is 550,000 per week. Their 18 to 49 demo has settled at a whopping 0.15 to 0.16, sometimes lower. It's half that on Saturday nights with Collision. Wasn't that way when Punker was there. This is the same company that was doing just as much in the 18 to 49 demo as Monday Night Raw when they were on the USA Network. This is a company that was drawing in the 750s to 800,000, sometimes creeping into the 900,000s weekly. Where did everybody go? Where did everybody go? When Punk was there, they were doing over 200,000 pay-per-view buys. They right now have settled into the good old 110, 120,000 range for pay-per-view. Look at what they've done attendance-wise. Look at what they're doing next week at the Now Arena. The Now Arena has housed All Out for many years. 10,000 plus. I was there. Jesse was there. What they're doing for Dynamite, going back to Schaumburg at the Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois, the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. They can barely draw 3,500 people there. In their home away from home, Chicago. Where did everybody go? Do you know how many people come out and tell me via the DM or a comment or this or that or a meet and greet when I see people out and about, JD, I don't watch AEW anymore. My passion for the product is gone. Tony killed my passion for the product. It doesn't make sense anymore. But this is where the best wrestle. Nobody is denying AEW's in-ring product, especially with guys like MJF and Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland and Pac and Okada and Takeshita. I mean, the sheer talent of professional wrestler in AEW is mind-boggling. It's staggering. Nobody is denying their in-ring product. It's the leadership that is denying the in-ring product from growing. It is Tony Khan who is denying AEW from being in front of a big crowd. It is Tony Khan who's denying AEW from making money. All because he loves his collection of action figures. That's all he cares about. So it doesn't matter if AEW is where the best wrestle. Who's watching it? Who's listening to it? Who's seeing it? Who's paying attention? This is the coldest the product has ever been. Yet this is where the best wrestle. Who gives a shit? That Ariel Helwani CM Punk interview rings true more and more every single time I see an interview like this. Nobody is denying AEW's in-ring product. The in-ring product for AEW is vastly different than WWE, but if WWE wanted to do what AEW is doing, they certainly have the talent to do so. What makes you think that WWE can't do the same in-ring product that AEW is doing? Here's a little spoiler for you. They were. It's called NXT, Black and Gold. Go look it up. Whatever you're watching on AEW right now, Triple H was doing it. He housed an entire roster and a creative team to give you a product that was fucking so far superior to AEW, it fucking took a dump right in AEW's backyard. And then AEW moved and NXT Black and Gold took another dump in their backyard. So what exactly are we doing? Where's AEW breaking ground here? You don't think AEW and WWE could have the same in-ring product? One is catering to a very small audience and is for the sickos. It's an indie-rific promotion that gets off on fucking spot after spot after spot after spot in comedy, and Kyle Fletcher riding the cowboy last week, and these fucking flips and dives that you see in these PWG-style all-star tag team matches that we've seen the last couple of weeks. WWE can easily do that type of thing. You want to know why they don't? It's because they don't need to. They don't need to. WWE could do everything that AEW is doing. In fact, they have. But one is a business, and the other is a fucking sandbox for the owner to play in. It's basically what it boils down to. On WWE's style, I got into WWE when I was a kid. But when I became a teenager, I thought it was lame. It's funny, some people are feeling that about AEW right now. Is that wrong? I mean, your guy Will Ospreay just said, I used to watch WWE, and then I didn't because I felt like it got lame. You know how many people think that same way about AEW right now? So where's the problem? There were certain guys I enjoyed, like Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Randy Orton. He's sick. After a while, I was like, this is so pantomiming. People would go, especially coming up with wrestling, less is more. Is it? I'm bored. It's the same recycled stuff over and over again. Every now and again, you'd get something cool like the CM Punk pipe bomb promo. You know, it's funny he says that. Less is more. Less is more. How many times, chat, have I sat here and gave you the exact reason why AEW isn't growing? Less is more. Maybe we should get less of where the best wrestle. Maybe we should get less pro wrestling and more story. See, the sickos don't understand that. That's where they fuck up. That's where their problem lies. When you realize that, that is the problem, everything becomes a lot more clear. I'm bored, he says. I'm bored with the WWE product. It's the same recycled stuff over and over again. Oh, you mean like these all-star tag team matches that we've seen the last couple of weeks where it's nothing but spot monkeys just doing flips and dives and fucking, riding the cowboy and fucking elbow drops galore and dives galore and all this nonsense galore. It's the same match. Canadian Destroyer here, Canadian Destroyer there, arm drag there, flip and dive here, flip and dive there. Oh my God, kick out after 2.5, kick out at a 1, fucking finishing moves that are fucking being kicked out 16 times a match. No, it's great. It's where the best wrestle. People aren't bored by that. Man, what a contradictory statement that is. You don't think people are bored with the AEW style, but they're bored with the WWE style. I'm not saying WWE is a great fucking promotion. Is it better than AEW? In my eyes, it is, because they're doing one thing that AEW is not, and they're telling stories. Whether you like them or not, whether they're good or bad, is irrelevant. They are telling stories where AEW has not told any stories at all. And if they do, they're bad. They're awful. Will Ospreay's not an idiot. Will Ospreay went out there and got people to talk about Will Ospreay. Good for him. I love Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay is the best pro wrestler in the fucking world. If you don't think Will Ospreay is a great pro wrestler, you're a complete fucking idiot. Plain and simple. I don't even want to hear from you. Whether you like his style or not, irrelevant to me. Whether you think he kicks out at a 1 or a 2.5 and he fucking does all these moves and he no-sells this and that, irrelevant to me. You go watch Will Ospreay and fucking everybody who's listening to me, you couldn't do 1/millionth of what he does. You could. He's a great pro wrestler. He's a very admirable promo. I wish he looked the part. If they're going to make him into a world champion, I wish he'd come out dressed as a fucking world champion instead of looking like Jim Cornette's fucking illegitimate son wearing a tracksuit everywhere. Fine. He's a great pro wrestler. He's not an idiot. He knew people were going to get this and talk about it, just like I'm talking about it right here. There's one thing, though. Will Ospreay would never. He's a very loyal individual from what we gather. He appreciates Tony Khan. He loves Tony Khan. He loves AEW. He would love any promotion he is currently waving the flag for. Will Ospreay is never going to bite the hand that feeds him. You don't think WWE knows that? I don't give a fuck what Will Ospreay says about WWE. If you don't think Triple H is already eyeing Will Ospreay when he becomes a free agent, you don't know Triple H and you don't know how WWE works. Do you honestly think WWE gives a fuck about what Will Ospreay says about them? Do you think Will Ospreay saying anything about Triple H is going to bother Triple H? Of course not. There has been so much worse said about Triple H, about WWE, and they end up still wanting and working with people who just defame them and throw them under the bus and say all these nasty things about them. WWE doesn't give a shit. If you directly affect their bottom line, if you are someone that they could make money off of, you could commit murder in the middle of the ring and they'll still want your services. Will Ospreay is never going to bite the hand that feeds him. Will Ospreay may end up looking back at a promo or not a promo, but an interview like this and wishing he took it back. If Will Ospreay does never want to go to WWE, I commend that. I respect that because that is a very, very difficult thing to not want for someone's career. If he's content with working All In and he thinks All In is just as good as WrestleMania, which is not, if he wants to stay like that, if he wants to be the indie band who never gets noticed and the indie band who's churning out banger matches, to then retire and sink away into irrelevancy with nobody ever remembering you, without a lasting memory, without a lasting moment, without people just remembering you for the memories and moments you made. If he's okay with none of that happening, I commend that. But if Will Ospreay wants to be Metallica, and Will Ospreay wants to be remembered with people singing his songs for years and years and years to come, like Ride the Lightning and For Whom the Bell Tolls and The Four Horsemen and Jump in the Fire and Battery and One and Enter Sandman, Fuel, King Nothing, Dyer's Eve, Orion, Disposable Heroes, Master of Puppets. If he wants songs and hits that will be remembered for a lifetime, he's going to have to go to WWE. It's plain and simple. He's never going to bite the hand that feeds him. He's a loyal guy. He's a loyal soldier. He's going to wave the flag for AEW as long as he's contracted there. But if you think Triple H gives a fuck about what Will Ospreay says here about him or WWE, they don't give a fuck because they know exactly that Will Ospreay cannot and will not bite the hand that feeds him. It's plain and simple. He got people to talk about him. Great. I'm sitting here talking about him for 20 minutes. Fantastic. This is where the best wrestle. Great. We all know AEW can churn out a fucking great match whenever they want. If you don't think WWE can do that, you're a complete idiot. But it doesn't matter. Because the one thing that people want out of AEW, they're not giving you. They're not giving you story. And the great graps and the great pro wrestling, you could sit there like a fucking virgin and a geek online and fucking talk pro wrestling and moves and matches and fucking Japan and Stardom and all this other shit. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things. This is a business. We're here to make money. We're here to make memories. We're here to make lasting impressions. We're here to WrestleMania main event. That's what everybody gets into the business to do. Main event WrestleMania and become a WWE superstar. There are people that don't want that. It's fine. But the majority of people who get into the business at one point or another want to be a WWE superstar. They don't want to be an AEW superstar. Some of you might want to do that, and that's okay if you want to be just that. There are people like that. But the majority of people want the biggest crowds, the biggest paycheck, and the biggest moments. Will Ospreay, at some point in his career, is going to have to make a very difficult decision for himself. I want to see him make the right decision, whatever that may be. But if you don't think that man wants a main event WrestleMania with Punk or Roman or wrestle in front of 80, 90,000 people at Wembley for WrestleMania when they go to the United Kingdom, you're a complete idiot. Let me know what you guys think about the Will Ospreay interview and his thoughts on the WWE product and what he said about WWE's in-ring talent. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I'm taking the rest of the day off. I'll see you guys live tomorrow night for SmackDown and the official OTS post show right here on Off the Script. Until then, guys, have a great Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow for SmackDown right here on Off the Script.